You are listening to the I Am an Education Champion podcast. Your future career starts here. Hello and welcome to everyone who is either listening or watching the I Am an Education Champion podcast, the voice of the Rising Stars Career Expo. My name is Thodisa Mangodwa and I am your host for this very first episode. I'm looking forward to be with you every month, profiling successful individuals from various industries in order to assist you, rising stars, to make a wise career decision from an informed position. South Africa is celebrating 30 years of democracy in 2024, and we've just commemorated Human Rights Day as a country. This is the theme that inspired today's show. I am joined by Nomisa Sopazi, a seasoned legal officer with over 8 years of experience in the gender-based violence. Her dedication to justice, equality, and human rights has driven her career, leading her to specialize in addressing the pervasive issue of gender-based violence. With a wealth of expertise in drafting legal documents, providing advice, and supporting clients in legal proceedings, Nomisa is well equipped to navigate the complexities of GBV cases. Her mission extends beyond legal advocacy. She aims to create a world free from gender-based violence through collaborative actions and empowerment. Join me as we get inside her career journey as a human rights lawyer and insights on combating GBV. Nomisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Can you share a pivotal moment or case in your career that reaffirmed your commitment to human rights advocacy?
Thank you. Human rights advocacy is, I think for me, is a personal journey, or it's a call, for me. So it's, once it's a personal passion of your own, that pushes you, to do your work, or to be involved, in this work daily. However, with the organization that I'm with, Lawyers Against Abuse, what we provide is legal services and advice and support to survivors of gender-based violence. And in such, the cases then that I've dealt with are cases based on such. It becomes, when you're coming out of school, it becomes a challenge or something that people never discuss actually, is to, once you're done with your degree, what do you want to do,
Yes.
Without a mentor, it then becomes much more of a challenge. For me, what affirms or reaffirms my commitment to the work that I'm doing, I think it's the understanding that by me providing education and empowering the survivors who approaches us for support and seeing them live with hope in their eyes, understanding of what the legal system is or how they can support themselves or they can protect themselves using the law, and educating communities on what the law says about their rights, and how they are protected by the laws, of this country. So for me, that reaffirmed my involvement in human rights. However, there are certain cases in which you take to heart, some of which, a child was violated and you see the perpetrator, being sentenced, to certain years in prison, or, a person who's in a domestic violence situation, they are able then to go out and stand on their own because some of the clients that I've met or dealt or supported with, my services are people who are probably dependent on the perpetrators. They have no support system. And, for them to leave such an environment, it's also a tiresome process for them because you have to figure out where am I going to live, where I'm going to stay, how am I going to feed the children if they have children, what kind of skills do I have. Some of them haven't worked in 5 years. And so you find that in the work opportunities space, they are very far low in the skills that they would require. And so us being able to provide the legal support that we do, we provide them the legal protection that they require whilst they are trying to maneuver and figure out whether are they remaining in their home or are they leaving to go and live on their own. And of course, then having partners, that you work with who are able then to provide services where we cannot provide such services. Counseling is very paramount when we're dealing with gender-based violence. Skills, provision. That's also another empowerment tool. So for me, when I see then a client maybe 3 months from now after having supported them for that long, and they come back and say, I've moved out, I have a job, I've started a business, I'm doing this. For me, I think that's something then that motivates me. And of course, there are cases where you're like, you know what, the human race is bad. And I don't know why I'm doing this. You live deflated and you want to go home and hide, but something will remind you in the morning. Hence, I'm saying human rights is it's about personal giving, because if you don't have that, you will then not be able to manage to provide and hold the space for the survivors that we are assisting. So those are the reasons why I continue to do what I'm doing for this needs that I've been doing it for.
Now, Ngomisa, you mentioned that one of the things that your organization, LVA, is doing is to educating the community. Now, can you please explain to me, because when we are thinking lawyers and also in terms of access, we are thinking, well, financial access. Let's discuss that because, well, what if I cannot afford Ngomisa? Ngomisa, what is a difference between an attorney and a lawyer who is working for a human rights, organization like yours, or who is working for a law firm or a corporate companies? What are the differences between these two professions, a lawyer and an attorney?
A lawyer, okay, let's start with an attorney.
Mm.
An attorney is an officer of the court who has been admitted by the court to practice and also provide, sorry, I'm getting, yeah, and also provide, services. So they are licensed legal persons. That's an attorney. A lawyer is also could be an attorney. So there is not a difference. So lawyer, I usually say it's an umbrella term for everyone who has studied law and is practicing within the legal field. So you could be a legal officer and people will refer to you as a lawyer. However, the distinction is that between a legal officer and a lawyer is that a lawyer is a licensed professional and a legal officer is not licensed.
Now I am a high school learner and I want to pursue an LLB at university, and then I want to be an advocate after doing my degree. So we have not delved into that. So how do I go about being an advocate? I want to be called Advocate Ngomisa Sopazi. So what's the process there?
Okay, so advocates, then they are lawyers who it's more like they specialize in litigation, court proceedings. So advocates, they operate differently than attorneys. Attorneys are trained for 2 years by other attorneys. So which is why we have law firms. Law firms and other NGOs, they provide candidate attorneyship, which is the 2 year, you could say the 2 year internship in which you are being trained on how to be an attorney. And of course, you have to write for the exams and also then, after that, then apply to have yourself registered by the court. So then that person would be registered as an officer of the court. An advocate, then it's different in the sense that they appear in higher courts and they are the issues that they deal with, they usually get, to be informed by the attorneys. And also then, advocate, you get, trained through a program which is called a privilege. And that program is offered by a chamber, by the South African chambers, law chambers. There are different chambers in South Africa. Knowing job at different chambers. So you can apply to the different chambers that you want. You can choose which chamber you want to be involved in, and that's where you're going to be trained. And so if you want to be an advocate, you can do your LLB, apply for privilege, which is the 1 year training, and you will have a mentor and the principal who will be guiding you through that. And the chamber will then teach you the processes. It's more like the court procedures that you need to follow. Yep. And more the courses that you have done, but in depth and how do they apply in the legal system. Attorneys, it's the same thing, but a different aspect of the law or a different aspect of the practice. And so clients can approach directly if you're an attorney and require your services. If you're an advocate, then there's a different process for that.
Now, in terms of being an advocate, do you have to win a number of courses for you to be then pass those exams? In terms of going to high court, you do have to win a number of cases. Is there such a requirement when you want to train as an advocate?
No, you have to pass your LLB, and of course, everyone is advised to pass with good colors. Remember, it's in a class of 100 LLB students, yes, and we all are applying to be advocates. Of course, chambers cannot accept us all, hundreds of us. Yes. They will look as to who has the best merit, and of course, the best merit then will be the one chosen. I usually advocate to say, listen, I know universities and our education framework right now, it says you have to pass, the pass rate is no certain mark, but you have to stand out. How do I, as a person looking at your CV, and you all have, the same marks, how do I distinguish who and which one is different? Yes. So you have to push yourself to put yourself in a sense that when someone is looking at your qualifications, even though it's similar to the next person, what is the difference? I think the mark points, that's the main purpose. It's not that we can't do the same way. It's just that we want to put our best foot forward. So passing in flying colors, it pushes you towards that. It gives you an advantage. However, you can't then say passing with 50% or 60%, it's not flying colors. It still is flying colors, but it also then still puts you at a disadvantage against someone who passed a course by 100%.
In terms of marks, Nomisa, let's go back to high school now. Are there options to do a diploma or to do a degree, and what subjects would then a high school learner be required to pass in order to be admitted, whether to a diploma qualification or a degree qualification? And please explain if there is a diploma that you can apply for, or it's strictly a degree.
So if you want to be a lawyer, or maybe let's say you want to be an attorney or an advocate, you have to do an LLB. So an LLB is a 4-year degree. You also have an option of doing BCom law and then topping up with, which is 3 years, and topping up with 2 years of LLB. And also you have an option of doing a Bachelor of Arts in Law, which is a 3-year degree, and then you top it up with 2 years of LLB, meaning within 5 years you have 2 degrees. Of course, there are diplomas in the law field. You can do diploma in criminology. It has to do with the criminal side of the law. You have diploma in law. I think UNISA is offering a diploma in law. And I think that is for the students who pass with that diploma mark, where they can do a diploma in law. So you can do that diploma and then top it up to make it a degree. You can start your career anyhow that you want, with the education that you want. So what should they pass in high school? I think most universities, they're looking for English, they're looking for maths. So how you get accepted in a university is based on the point system that they're using. And so most universities, they're looking for mathematics literacy. They're looking for English. And yeah, I think those are the main, subjects in which they look for higher percentage marks and they give you more points. And then the other subjects then would add to those points. So your aim should be, if for instance, a university says will take you, if you get 35% or, 35 points or more, the APS system that they use, you have to sit down and check their, what is it called? You have to check their conditions, their conditions of acceptance as to how much do you have to qualify for? They give you a point-based system there where they say, in your English, if you have 60%, it equals to 4 points. In your maths, if you have 60%, it equals to 6 points. I'm just making an example. And you add those points. And, I think now I was applying for someone. There's the online system. It actually calculates your marks for yourself and it lets you know whether you qualify or not. It's important to focus on all your subjects, but be more specific based on what you want to do. So if you want to do law, maths and English, or maths literacy and English would be important.
Okay. Now, Nomisa, thinking Nomisa at 17 or 18 years old at that time, applying to a university. And they have that option B, option C, option D. Did you have any other options except law?
I had my first option was a Bachelor of Commerce in Economics. And then my law was a second option.
Okay.
I get accepted for the economics. I did 1 year. And then within finishing that 1 year, I realized, no, man, I still, have this passion. So for me, hence I'm saying the work that I'm doing, it's a call because I found myself in spaces where I was doing what I'm doing, not in depth as I'm doing it because I was still young at the time. And then in the second year, then I decided then to combine my economics, courses with law, which is why I did Bachelor of Commerce Law first and then did LLB to top it up. And so that's how then I merged the two because I still love the commerce side, but I still wanted to be involved in the law. So that's how I did my degree. Hence, I said in the beginning, you can either do 3 years, become law or Bachelor of Arts in Law, and then top it up and make it LLB. And of course, I usually say this to youngsters, whatever choice that you make, take it. Even if it's not your preferred choice, take it because then you will learn more about other degrees when you get into that university and you interact with other students and also get an experience from someone who has been there or maybe they're in their second year or third year and they will let you know as to how they're finding that course. And so you still have time. I mean, if you're 18 going to university, still have time to change around, The following year, you can then decide to say, okay, I want to enroll in this degree and leave this and unenroll in this one. You're more than welcome to do that.
Now, let's come to Nomisa at 20, 21 years, already at tertiary. You have made your choice. You started become in first year, and then second year, you decided, I'm still called to be a lawyer. What are the challenges that you faced in your industry at tertiary now? We are still at tertiary, where now you are a student and now you are navigating the varsity life. What are some of the challenges that you have faced And what can you advise to students who are either doing a law degree or are at your position where they are now saying, well, at the beginning of the semester this year in 2024, I thought that become economics is what I want to do. But now I'm thinking, no, I want to do become law. So what are some of those challenges that you have experienced, which I think they might be familiar with other students who are at varsity right now, and how did you overcome them?
We face different challenges. I mean, when I was at university as compared to now, it's different. However, one of the challenges that I faced, I mean, one person could say me changing from one degree to the next. That's a challenge on its own. And how do you navigate that? Because you enroll yourself in a degree and you find that within the first 6 months, that moment, this doesn't fit to my passion. And so how do I navigate that? There are student services and there are student counseling services in each university. So if you're facing any issues, and I encourage them students to reach out to them and get a counselor for yourself. Find a mentor, there are students who are doing their honors degree, they are doing their master's degree, they are in their third year. Find them, because those students would find that they would be offering tutoring services in the university. So find one who would be your guidance, guide you as to, are you in the right path? What are you struggling with? Of course, a social that works for you is very important, because I think university, it's an opportunity for you to build lifetime relationships, can build lifetime friendships with the people that you meet there. And so if you choose intentionally the people that you want to engage with and the people that you want to be in your circle, they then will be able to support you through whatever course you've decided to take within that institution. Because at university, your family is not there if you're living away from home, so you need to create that support system for yourself. And of course, be wary of the friends that you make, because some of them, they could be people who are not good for you. As I'm not saying they are not good people, I'm saying they are not good for you. So it's important then to also be aware of that. What kind of people do you want around you? And find financial challenges. Listen, I don't know any person who's been to university who would not tell you that I know tin beans and cultured was my staple food, powder milk, eggs, and all of that. Just embrace it, embrace it and not saying starve yourself, but embrace the culture because culture in the university, I think it's a culture of trying to figure out whether how am I going to be an adult in this world? There's no mama to tell, hey, mommy, I'm out of this. You're on your own. Whatever stipend that you get from your parents, if you're getting a stipend, or from your bursary or NSFAS, just be cautious. I think financial literacy is important, because it's very easy when you're a youngster and you see you have 2,000 rands in your bank account and you're thinking, I'm managed. Let me take myself out this the whole week this week. Not realizing that cost of living, not gonna, you know, you're not gonna manage with that money for the end of the month, because there's groceries, there's printing, there's stationery, there's this, that. So those are the things that you need to be aware of. Of course, the first year will be the year in which you're going to make all of these mistakes. That's the year that I usually say to people, if you don't do so well with your curriculum, don't beat yourself up, because you're trying to navigate a lot of things, And then the second year, it's the year of reckoning, because already you have learned your lessons. Now you know how to navigate the space that you are in. So you can't repeat the same mistakes that you've done the previous year. And so then you're able then to move forward and focus and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is my budget. This is, and the friends that I have and all of that. For me, support system worked a lot. I had great friends in university.
Here you go, rising stars. So Nomisa just mentioned to you that tertiary varsity life is not about partying and socializing. It's actually a practice to adult life. Now, Ngomisa, you have graduated. You have realized that this is your calling to be a lawyer, and you are settled. And then you graduate, and then now you are working. You've been working in the industry for like 8 years. So I'm speaking to the right person here. You have more experience I think for my next question, which is, what are the greatest challenges that you face as a human rights lawyer? And how do you navigate those challenges? It looks like challenges don't end at tertiary.
No, challenges don't end at tertiary. For the work that I'm doing, because we're doing we're focusing on gender-based violence. One of the challenges that I face, it's gender discrimination. Being a female within the space that I'm in, your opinion to certain individual doesn't matter, you know. And of course, by you being a female and also providing support to a survivor of gender-based violence, it's seen as you trying to, you know, undermine the males in the home or undermine the authority of that male. So that's one of the things, gender discrimination. And of course, there are harassment issues, you know. We also face gender-based violence as human rights lawyers as well. One of the, I think one of the most, doing the work that I'm doing, one of the most, important things that even when I'm training someone who's new or coming to volunteer for us, it's your personal safety. There are a lot of threats that could come based on the work that you're doing. So being female, then it heightens that up. Because if a male is the perpetrator, they can think that they can also intimidate you because you are a female. So that person's personal views of you then guide and influences how they are interacting with you. So you can find yourself in situations where you are being intimidated or harassed. I haven't found myself in such situations. There was potential, but we have measures in place to ensure that we don't expose ourselves to such risks. And so I think those are the three challenges that I've faced in the work that I'm doing. And so having many measures as an organization, safety precautions and measures, and also working, with I think my colleague, because it's two of us in our office. So we have also our safety precautions that we have. If there's one person in the office, we keep the butler door locked, and so then when the person has to enter, will be through our permission, and you know, be aware of the space where you are. And also we communicate with our clients when we're doing safety planning with them, communicate not to expose themselves and also not to expose us to danger, you know, and we get into those agreements. So there are certain things that you can do. Doesn't mean that if you're a female, don't do the work. Do the work. Your voice is needed and your expertise is needed. However, I can't lie and say it's a safe work. It's not. And of course, I don't think there is any safe work that you can do in South Africa because as females, we're at risk.
Now, Mamisa, you've mentioned a whole lot of things and interesting things about being a human rights lawyer. And I know someone somewhere in Bizana who says, well, I would like to follow a career path as a human rights lawyer. But firstly, I need to know, am I going to make money out of this career? Am I going to make a rewarded living? I have heard that lawyers charge on an hourly basis, just like other professions that we know of. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so as a human rights lawyer, what is my starting salary? Would it be 100,000 a month, Mamisa?
No. No, I mean, if it's about money, look into private practice. you can then charge hourly rate. If it's about human rights, don't consider money. Of course, you're not gonna be paid such a meager salary that you can't even, um, be able to do your things. You will be paid that whatever it depends the organization initially. You will be paid whatever is financially suitable for that organization based on the donations that they receive. Because we are not making any money. We don't provide, we don't charge, we don't provide any kind of products or service that we charge for.
Yes.
Everything is free of charge. And so what then dependent on donations. And of course, you will be paid enough that you can be able to pay rent if you are renting, buy food, the basic necessities. But if you're looking to find a job in which you're going to buy a Porsche within 3 months, unfortunately, I don't think this will be the work for you. You'd have to look somewhere else. I don't know which profession in which you'd have to work for 3 months and be able to get a Porsche, but I don't even think it's within the law field, because for even the most experienced lawyers, it took them time to get to where they are, where they can charge the fees that they are charging right now, And I think the phenomenon in which people see the cases they see over the news and the cases that are being discussed, and they hear how much when the news anchors of Mr. So and so or Miss so and so is charging so much for this for an hour by taking this case. And so if the case takes 7 hours, they would have made this amount of money. My say in that is that you have to understand that person probably has 15 years to 20 years of experience. And so being an expertise in the field that they are in at that point, they then are able to charge the amounts that they are able to charge at that point. So I, for instance, if I were to charge with my 8 years of experience doing the work that I'm doing, I'm probably then going to have to charge a certain amount. However, I then joined this work knowing that for me, it's not about the money, it's about helping the community that I'm in and also the community that I would be stationed at to make sure that they are able to navigate the legal system and addressing one of the social ills, is gender-based violence. And so if you're going to be in human rights work, you can't be looking at money. It's about passion. It's about you giving yourself to the community, not about you making money. Not all of us are going to be rich and billionaires. Someone has to do the grunt work.
I hear you, Ngomisa. There you have it, Rising Stars from Ngomisa Sopazi, a human rights lawyer with Lawyers Against Human Violence. Thank you, Ngomisa, for honoring our request to be on the show. And you're welcome to send Ngomisa all your questions regarding human rights law as a career path on all our Rising Stars Career Expo media platforms. On LinkedIn, I am Tulisa Mangoja. You can interact with me even there. So if you are interested in being a human rights lawyer, I am sure we have done our best in terms of bringing you information and from the horse's mouth, which is Ngomisa Sopazi. And we are grateful for the insights that she has shared with us and also with you, Rising Stars. Thank you so much, Ngomisa.
Thank you for having me and giving me this platform to talk to the youngsters. I hope they learn something and make informed choices. Of course, anything that I've said can be then further expanded by researching more on it. There's vast information on the internet. And I'm available to answer questions when those questions arise, and also provide referrals to reasonable people or people that I've made connections with would be able to answer certain questions that I won't be able to answer. But I think as youth and in this country, we have to be involved in the law system and also be involved in also designing the kind of law system that we want and society that we want. And so I implore you as a young person in this country, be involved as much as you can. Seek information, educate yourself.
Thank you, Ngomisa, for honoring our request to be on the show. And you are welcomed, Rising Stars, to send Ngomisa, as she mentioned, your questions regarding human rights law as a career path on all our Rising Stars Career Expo social media platforms. On LinkedIn, I am Tulisa Mangodwa.